which is a very good portrait of Kojima.
Okay. So Kojima had a little interview earlier with a Japanese lifestyle magazine called An. He was talking about what kind of games he would like to make.
Got the answer, by the way.
Okay, hold on. Go ahead. Yes.
Battlefield 5, and I bet you it's because of reporting. Battlefield 5 came out, right? Just so you guys know.
Go ahead.
November 20th, 2018.
Which is
So
right before Black Friday.
in 3 years, it was a week before Black Friday.
Yeah,
So I
right
did get the
before
answer.
Black
All right, so continue.
Okay, so Kojima, like I said, he had an interview with a magazine, Japanese magazine, and he was specific on what kind of concept he wants to do with games. Which, you know how Kojima is. He is not the most, for lack of a better word, normal on how he approaches things. He's not the most normal how he approaches things. So
don't let him do that.
Wants to basically create. He wants the concept to be able to create a game that changes depending on what you do.
Yeah.
Like literally, that the game could be different for each person that plays. Not similar to how it was, like, let's say, Mass Effect, you had choices and stuff.
Yeah.
He said things like that is too rudimentary, too basic, and all that. He wants games that actually change depending on how the player plays. Like, actual, people having different experiences from the same game, depending on the type of person that plays and how they play. He's thinking
ambitious.
yeah, exactly. He's thinking very ambitiously. One example that he was a maker on was the game. I don't know if you remember this game from back on the GBA days. B.o.P. The Light Warrior.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember that game. Pretty much that game it had a cartridge, obviously, and it had a little sensor on the cartridge that in order to fight in that game, you need light power. And in order to power the light of the character, you need to actually be outside and have the sun hit the cartridge to be able to power it. And that's the only way you'll be able to battle is using the power by going outside and actually doing something. So Kojima wants to do a more upscale version
Obviously,
of that.
We're talking years.
He wants to be able to have everyone have different experiences and experience the same game different ways, and he wants to be able to pretty much. You want something more lifelike and how it.
See,
would work.
and it's funny because I didn't think it was that deep until you explained it like that. I thought it was something we already have, like weather. In the area is sunny, partly cloudy. You're gonna play either a game that's going to have a change of weather. Gran Turismo include that.
No,
Driver for the PS4 included that.
Are basic.
And they really are basic. Something cool, but what in my opinion, what he's going for, which obviously is a step further, which is great, and it builds the immersion inside the game.
Exactly.
But those concepts are great, but
he wants to
it goes over their head, so not a lot of people really think about it. They just think it's just the level, not realizing, hey, it's raining because outside's raining, right? That's why the roads are sleek on the game you're playing, because it's actually pouring. If you play tomorrow when it's sunny, you could probably be better, da-da-da. Or for Pokemon, you're going to get water Pokemon because it's pouring rain. If not, wait until tomorrow. It's going to be sunny. So we get it, but I don't think a lot of people understand that concept like that, not realizing that it's a great way to navigate the game. He's going where I thought PlayStation 5 was going to do with the DualSense, and what I'm going to say is when you play a horror game, the difficulty could change depending on the sweat, the nervousness they get from the actual controller itself. We'll see if it needed to frighten you more or lower the difficulty a little bit more.
So you're understanding what he's trying to
So I get it,
at.
because the rumors of the new PlayStation, which now is the PlayStation 5,
Yeah.
was that how could they implement something to fluidly change the difficulty depending on how the player is? If they map out that your button mashing is going to be easier.
This is why he's thinking about it. Maybe he's thinking of ideas on what to do. But he was talking with this interviewee about this.
Because now he doesn't want it based on hardware. He wants it off of software.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
because he's a software developer. He makes games.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But I mean, if you're going to be a software developer, you want to know what is available hardware-wise to take advantage of. But he's thinking strictly software, because if it was hardware, he could do something of the sort
But he's
will
not a hardware
DualSense,
guy.
but
He's always a software
no,
guy. He makes games.
It makes it, but you gotta understand when they make games, you gotta know what kind of peripherals, the hardware-wise, that you're gonna be utilizing for those games. Just like if they're gonna do Death Stranding, you got DualSense. How can you take advantage of DualSense? You are software. You're gonna go ahead and implement those things from the hardware because you're a software developer. Makes sense. But that's what I'm thinking they should do, in which we thought PS5 was gonna do.
Yeah.
But they didn't.
So
he's trying to do it on some software in hopes in the future hardware comes out like that.
Yeah.
Because if you did that,
it'd definitely be more immersive, which I would love that.
Yeah.
It'll be, like I said, different for each person because each person reacts differently to certain things.
Yep.
So the same game that everyone plays could play different or be different depending on the actions that you do.
it could be either what you say. That could be like, the Connect had that type of lawsuit when they had a lawsuit, but they try to implement it like based on your voice and what you say could dictate some actions or like your mood within a game, and they're like, oh, privacy concerns, we don't like that, and then the game's like, we won't include that.
So it'd be pretty interesting.
We've seen some waves of it. We've seen some rumors of it.
He just wants more like an upscale.
But we didn't see it hardware-wise, maybe software. How would he do that, though?
I have no idea where to even start.
Because
with
what's your
that.
example? What'd you say?
Boktai.
Boktai.
Yeah.
That was hardware because you had it from a sensor that could gain solar energy.
Yeah, basically.
And the game will automatically read it.
Exactly.
So he needs, if you want to go with that example, he needs some form of hardware. But again, it could be what you play, right? It could, let's say, what's that game called? Detroit Beyond Human?
Oh, yeah.
The AI automatically knows what days you were gone. So, like, if you play, like, I haven't played for a week. They're like, how did your week go? Plus, continue to I'm like, bitch, you know my week? How the fuck you know my week? Because it viewed the actual time of my last save to the time that I logged in now. It's built in on software from obviously hardware. I don't know how he's going to do that.
It'd be interesting. I'm kind of curious if he does something. Kojima is always like creative with shit like that. So I'm kind of curious how that's gonna happen.
So that was good. That was a good talk on that.